The surge of illegal immigrants has reached new daily records. These numbers are unbelievable. And like, if you don't live in these towns, you're probably sitting there going, it's like when someone doesn't live in a hurricane path and they're like, wow, and they're flipping on the Weather Channel. They're like, wow, look at that. That looks bad. For the people that are living in these communities, it's absolutely terrifying. And by the way, it's not just going to stay in those communities anymore. It's absolutely traveling all over Europe and all over the United States. So first, let's talk about Europe. Then we'll talk about the U.S. overnight. So how did it get this bad, you might be asking? That's what a lot of Europeans and Americans are asking themselves as they stare down the hundreds of illegal immigrants pouring across their borders. The corporate media is largely silent on this issue, totally silent, actually. So to understand some context here, let's rewind the clock a little bit, back to March of 2023. So just a short time ago, mayors and interior ministers in cities all across Europe warned that their cities were going to collapse if illegal immigrants continued to flood their streets. It was an invasion, they said. This was, here you can read this article here, Europe looks to beef up border security as illegal migration surges. Did that happen? The latest, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. In fact, as the article points out, the latest surge in illegal migration has prompted interior ministers across Europe to vow to finally hammer out a unified policy on migration, which has long been Europe's Achilles heel. So what happened? Well, the answer is virtually nothing happened. The EU made it worse by, in fact, speeding up the asylum-seeking time frame to 12 weeks. So you come across the border illegally, claim asylum for whatever reason you want, then Europe will take 12 weeks to approve or deny your request. They also made it so that European countries wouldn't be able to detain these people except in rare circumstances. Makes a lot of sense, right? It's how exactly is that working out for them? If it's not, in fact, because the message is basically just come on in. Just we're wide open, just come on in, because it's such a broad set of standards that anyone can get refuge. Anyone can seek asylum, and it doesn't matter how you claim it. So they use vague rules about the asylum, and we can detain you. And by the way, we can't detain you, so you go just have some fun in our country. Under these detention rules, we can't detain you at all. You're here for 12 weeks, so here's some money. You have to be put up in nice hotels, and go take care. Go do what you're going to do. We'll probably never see you again. Welcome to Germany. How's that working out for Germany, by the way? How's it working out for Switzerland? It's not. Just look at Germany's economy. Look at how Germany is dealing with crime, rash of crime. Look at the rapes that are taking place across France. Headlines this morning in France about the number of elderly women being attacked and raped in France, thanks to illegal immigrants. Great. In 2022, Europe saw over 330,000 illegal immigrants arrive by boat and train. And in the spring of that year, already an 82% increase over last year. And they've done nothing to stop it. And now, today, we have this. Take a look at this. So this is Al Jazeera reporting that upwards of 500,000 people have gathered in northern Africa ready to invade Europe, essentially. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe all of these people that are, filing in by the giant semi-truck flatbeds are just going to hang out. Maybe they're all together to go to a Taylor Swift concert.
This is from Al Jazeera.
Mm-hmm. So in Spain last night, and by the way, we should also point out about this in Spain. In Spain last night, boats arriving on shore carrying illegals. Looks like soldiers landing on the beaches of Normandy when you see these images. Look at that. These are the first thoughts, too. They're like, this is D-Day. It's like those Higgins boats that soldiers used on the beaches of Omaha Beach and so forth to attack Nazi positions.
Point out, like, where do you... I don't see any women or children yet. Like, why is it all men all of a sudden? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, military-age men. I've heard from multiple sources today, overwhelmingly, the train fulls, the cargo holds full, are military-age men. And I saw someone on Twitter, not interacting with me or anything like that, but just said, like, when did we start? Look, the boats are pulling back, and then they go and they load up more, and they're bringing them right back. So when did someone on Twitter said, well, when did we start using the insensitive term military-aged men? How about we just call them men? Okay. So Why don't we just do it? Why don't we make you feel better with the terminology? They're military-aged men.
Yeah, because when you say men, you would see men getting off the boat that needed help because they're old, or children like 7 to 12 getting off. But these are fit military-aged men, and that means something. There's a reason people are calling it that.
Yes, but that's always been an immigrant pattern, is that, a working family would send the man to go and sort of figure out where they're going to live. Is there a job there? That's what the Chinese did largely when they came over to work. The men came, right? The women did not. Immigrants from Western Europe who came to the United States, the man would go first, make sure there was a job and a home, and then send for the family. So that's another, is that a prospect that these men would send back for their families? It's a valid question because there's so little known about these massive people.
And I apologize. Already, YouTube tonight has already limited our show, and I can see here that they've yellow flagged our show and already blocked it. So anyway, if you're not seeing this, that could be why. So please smash the like button. It pushes it further out into the algorithm, but it's kind of amazing. Like, we just started the show. We haven't even done anything yet. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. Anyway, so yeah, that was Spain last night. And then countries like Sweden and Germany have seen soaring sexual assault cases, with many perpetrators being immigrants who arrive illegally. This is well documented. Yet the mainstream media continues to downplay these issues and label anyone who dares speak out about this as a bigot. It's not bigotry to care about the safety and security of your own citizens. It's not bigotry to demand that your government, by the way, enforce its own laws that are on the books. Or you can have Obama come in and change them and label everyone dreamers, so you can sort of go around the laws and, we don't have laws on the books anymore. No, they're just labeled dreamers.
And no one's saying we want bad for those people. We're saying that must be scary to land on a beach and not know where you're going and not have anything to eat or anywhere to stay, right? And so that's not good for anybody. It's not good for the people who have migrated legally or who live there. And it's not good for those people who have to sit around on the sidewalk waiting for someone to give them something. It's not good for anybody. This is like a virtuous circle of terrible.
And they've also, by the way, created a system that rewards this kind of behavior, who break the law, and punishes those who just break it and don't follow it. That's really ridiculous. I mean, sorry, they punish those who do follow the law and have to wait in line, basically, right? Basically, skip the line and we will reward you and give you government benefits and take care of you. Go through the proper channels and you're screwed. They created a broad definition of asylum and fleeing political prosecution. You fleeing persecution? Use that word on your sign-up form and you're good to go. So that anyone coming in can claim asylum.
So easy for Syrians escaping the war or Libyans. They wait in long lines and are often rejected in Western countries. So when did that become a thing? It certainly wasn't a thing when we were busy destroying Middle Eastern countries and then not letting them in. So if we've changed that, it would be nice for us all to know.
Well, today, UK's Home Secretary admitted that multiculturalism has failed and Europe is facing an existential crisis because of illegal immigration. Watch.
Uncontrolled immigration, inadequate integration, and a misguided dogma of multiculturalism have proven a toxic combination for Europe over the last few decades. I'm not the first to point this out. In 2010, Angela Merkel gave a speech in which she acknowledged that multiculturalism had utterly failed. And then French President Nicolas Sarkozy and British Prime Minister David Cameron echoed similar sentiments shortly thereafter. Multiculturalism makes no demands of the incomer to integrate. It has failed because it allowed people to come to our society and live parallel lives in it. They could be in the society, but of the society. And in extreme cases, they could pursue lives aimed at undermining the stability and threatening the security of our society.
I love Burn in Hell Biden, great screen name, by the way, on our Rumble chat, says, wow, no shit. But for some people, this is like a revelation. You needed to go through all of this disastrous influx of illegal immigrants the total collapse of your society, violence, elderly women being raped in France, because that's happening, to finally wake up and realize this. Now, some might say, well, she, of course, is the parents of illegal immigrants from India who came to the UK, right? And upwardly mobile, she's there. She's the Home Secretary.
Of legal immigrants, or she's
legal. So this is the difference, right? This is when someone wants to throw that around, that, well, it's easy for her to say that is she admitting that it's a failure? She's the product of it. Well, is she, though? Because her parents went through normal
if
channels.
She's Indian, then also her culture was pillaged by the United Kingdom. And so they were given this, sort of
pathway,
corridor of immigration.
Hey, we destroyed your country. We pillaged it. We
made you fan us at night when it was really hot, when we had British soldiers, taking all of your resources. So we owe you a little thing called passport.
That's true, by the way. Yeah, yes. we were forced to fan British soldiers in India while you were occupying us.
Throughout the night. Yeah. That was a job.
All night.
Slavery.
So she then called separately, the Home Secretary did, for rewriting of a treaty which has influenced global asylum policy for the last 7 decades. Good for her. Wow. Really? She did that today? This would be the biggest change to refugee laws in 70 years. Huge news from the UK. Let's see if anyone listens and actually does that. But it's this overly broad definition, of course, that Nigel Farage and others have been slamming. Just any definition you want. Come on in. Take our government resources. Rape our women. That's how it works.